Hello, my name is Brenda Serber, and this is the presentation of my action research project titled The Big History Project, Increasing Student Literacy. As a teacher who focuses on a student-centered classroom, I wanted to find technology that would enhance both interest in science and scientific literacy, while giving students the opportunity to choose if they wanted to continue the research and continue the curriculum outside the classroom. Before I begin on the Action Research Project data, I would like to start my presentation with an overview of what the Big History Project is.
People have always asked the big questions. How was the universe created? Why does it work the way it does? Why do we find ourselves on this tiny planet, buzzing with life? Looking at the really big picture revealed unexpected connections. If you want to know about humanity, you have to ask about the whole universe. These questions fascinated me even when I was a kid, because they made me feel I was part of something absolutely huge and quite wondrous, and I wanted to know more about it. I began teaching a history course that began with the Big Bang, 13.7 billion years ago. I called it Big History.
Big History is my favorite course of all time. It blurs the boundaries between science and geography and history and literally tells the story of the universe. David Christian made it so intriguing. I loved his course and wanted to talk to him about how can we make this available to more people.
Together, we're creating a free, online, and in-class course for high school students.
Big History is the first class that I can actually say I've enjoyed history in.
You study this huge spectrum of history.
Like looking at the different theories that different people have had.
It's the history of everything on a very broad scale.
That it's more than just this textbook that's static.
Whenever I go to class, I really enjoy the discussions that we have.
It's just made me feel a lot better about school generally.
By the end of this course, you'll have surveyed the whole history of the universe, and you'll know how you fit into it. So let's get started.
After establishing the online curriculum to be used for my action research project, I developed two questions I wanted to answer. Question 1, would using the online curriculum, the Big History Project, increase student literacy? And question 2, would the Big History Project increase student literacy if a flipped classroom model was used? I chose a mixed methods research model and collected identical qualitative and quantitative data both before and after the completion of Unit 2, The Big Bang Theory. To begin with, for the qualitative data, I did a survey judging student efficacy in 3 domains. The first was their knowledge of the origins of the universe, their confidence level in writing about the big history, the Big Bang Theory, and their interest in continuing studies on the origins of the universe. The results of that were kind of all over the place, although confidence level was high. These were both accelerated classes, so their confidence level was pretty high regardless of how they viewed their prior content knowledge or their future interest. So to begin with, both control and experimental groups received instruction using the Big History Project on the nature of science and a brief lesson on both the multicultural and scientific views of the origins of our universe, as well as how our views of the universe have changed over time based on new evidence. The control group was period 2, and they received a detailed overview of the Big Bang Theory through video lessons, readings, and discussions. Students were directed to take notes in class on claims and evidence made in the video clips. So for that, again, I did these all in class, and we focused on Unit 2, The Big Bang Theory, and we studied origins of the universe. We studied different views of the universe held by various astronomers over the years, as well as specifics on the evidence used to determine the Big Bang Theory and what happened immediately after, including formation of new elements and stars, and how the universe is expanding based on details and evidence from astronomers. The experimental group, period 5, received a flipped classroom model, and they got the homework assignments that were exactly the same as period 2 had in class. They were also directed to take notes on claims and evidence made in the video clips. At the end of the unit, I administered the exact same survey regarding student efficacy, and the results had gone up as far as content knowledge. Confidence was about the same, and interest was mostly increased, although there was a few that had a decreased interest. Here's a graph showing those results with both the control group in purple and pink and the flipped classroom group in the green and blue. Again, content knowledge was increased using the Big History Project across the board. However, the flipped classroom had a greater increase, possibly because of them not doing the homework. About half of them admitted to me after the research requirement was over that they had not, in fact, done the homework on the Big Bang Theory, and therefore their increase in content knowledge might have been due to them kind of covering up whether or not they had actually completed the homework. Confidence was exactly the same. Future interest was about the same for the control group, but the flipped classroom had an increase, a greater increase in their future interest. Again, probably because many of them had not done any of the studies to begin with. For the quantitative data, I did a simple word count similar to the test they've received in their ELA classes, where they're giving a writing prompt on the Big Bang Theory, 2 minutes to think about it, and then 5 minutes to write as much as they can on it. This was period 2, the control group, the class that got teacher interventions and all the studies in class, as well as activities and discussions. And they had a fairly large increase in the total word count, about an average of 25.8 words increase across the classroom. The flipped model group, the experimental group, only had an increase of about 7.5. So there was a less overall word count increase with the flipped model group. Combining the two results together, blue being the teacher intervention or the control group and orange being the flipped model class, there was an overall greater increase in word count writing on the Big Bang Theory after the program was used, but more so for the group that had teacher intervention. So, in conclusion, the results of the project were overall good. The Big History Project did increase student literacy in the Big Bang Theory, did increase scientific interest in the history of the universe. However, the classroom that had teacher intervention substantially scored higher in both the qualitative and quantitative data analysis, and therefore I conclude that while technology does enhance student learning, and specifically the Big History Project does increase student literacy in science, teacher intervention and support in the classroom is still required. The flipped model does not work based on this research, at least in my classrooms and at my school with my school population. Homework tends to be less important to the students as completing in-class work. So that is my action research project. If you have any further questions or would like some more information, please respond to this presentation, or you can email me at serber@unlv.nevada.edu, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Have a wonderful day.